Thanks for dropping by. Have you always thought that Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles is a song that's out of your reach? I'm going to show you how you can play it with all open chords, 2 easy strum patterns, and it's going to sound great. Welcome back to Relax and Learn Guitar. I am Kevin. This is our little dog Maggie May, who we have evidently woken up for this. My wife Vicky's behind the camera, and we can't wait to show you another great song by the Beatles that you can play. And there's a ton of really intricate picking. George does an amazing job on this song. This version is going to be kind of just the strumming version that you can play along to just if you're playing by yourself in an acoustic guitar.
For a beginner.
Yeah, it's kind of the beginner level version of this great tune. But I promise, playing it this way, people will recognize it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use a capo on the 7th fret, which is how George plays it. And this is in standard tuning. And we're going to do all open chords. So you don't have to know any bar chords to play this song. And some of these shapes you'll probably be familiar with. If you'd like a much more detailed lesson on the first 8 chords you should learn when playing the guitar, check out the link below. Vicky will leave one in the description for you. So we're going to play here with our 7th fret capo. And we're going to do a D, a G, using 4 fingers. So kind of the traditional G looks like this. We're going to add our ring finger to the 2nd string, 3rd fret of that G chord. You also need to know an A7 chord. And the way I'm going to fret this one, just because of the capo and not a ton of room up here, I'm going to fret the 4th string 2nd fret with my middle finger, and I'm fretting the 2nd string 2nd fret with my ring finger, and play from the 5th string down. Pretty chord. Then you have an E7, which is basically an E chord without using your ring finger. And those are the only 4 chords you'll need for the intro and verses. There's a couple more chords. We'll get to those later on in the song when we get there. Let's talk about strum patterns. I'm going to show you 2 simple strum patterns for this. And I like using this first one for the intro, for a little interest, and then changing it once we get to the verse and the chorus. And I love this song. Probably one of my favorite Beatles songs. I always think about Florida when I think about this song, because Vicky and I will sing this song on the way to the airport.
We love the song.
Yes, we miss it a little bit here in Ohio sometimes, so Florida's a good thing. So strum pattern for this intro. I was playing at the beginning of this video. It's a down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Very common strum pattern. It sounds great with this intro. So you have down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. And the chord progression is D for 2 of those strum patterns, the G for 1 of them, and the A7 for 1 of them. Then repeat. D, G, and then kind of a nice, drawn-out, dramatic A7 to kind of finish that intro. Then we get into the chorus. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say, it's alright. So we're going to use a different strum pattern. Now, you don't have to. You can certainly... Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. You can use that strum pattern, the down, down, up, down, up, through the whole song if you like. I like switching it up a little bit. So what I'm doing here is just down, up, 8th notes. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the other thing I'm doing there, here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Kind of stressing the downbeats a little more than those up strums. So that chorus is 2 of the Ds. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. the G. Here comes the E7 for the first time, son. And I say D, it's alright. And I think doing it that way just sounds a little better, in my opinion. So after that, on the records, there's the cool little lick that George plays. We're going to just play, we're just going to strum over that lick. So if you're playing along with the record, which I recommend doing, just to kind of get the feel of the song and the structure and work up to that tempo, we're just going to do a little strumming here, and we're going to stick with the down ups. We're going to go. So all I'm doing there is imagine this D shape, but lift up that middle finger. We'll want the high E to ring out on this chord. It's a type of D chord. And we're going to put our pinky down here on the 3rd string on the 4th fret, which is relative to that capo. So it's a lot of words to say. Lift up your middle finger on a D chord and put your pinky down on the 3rd string, 4th fret. And that's the first. There's 4 little chord shapes here. Actually, 3 chord shapes played 4 times. So there's the pinky there on the 3rd string, 4th fret. Then lift the pinky up. Then lift your index finger up. Then put your index finger back down. Now, the good thing with this strum pattern is you don't really have to think about it. Try to make it automatic. This down-up strum pattern, I like it for this song because you can really concentrate on the chords and the chord changes, and your hand should just keep, even if you screw up, don't worry about it. Just keep going with the down-ups. And you have this. So I'm just doing down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So where you change these chords, you start on the down, up, down with this pinky. Then you're going to lift up the pinky for the up, down, up. Then you're going to lift up the index finger for the next down, up, down. And then put the index finger back down for the up, down, up. That's a lot of downs and ups, right? But slowing it down, you're going for this. Right hand is key in this kind of version of the song. After that, 4 shapes, we go to that A7 for a couple of down, up, down strums. So it's... And then we get into the verse. That's going to start on this D. We're going to stick with the down, up strums. And the verse goes on a D. Little darling, twice. It's been a G cold, lonely A7. D twice on. It feels like G since it's been A7. Then back to the chorus. Here comes the sun, do 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 do, which is D's. And then to a G. Here comes the E7. I say D, it's alright. And then we have that instrumental again, which is the and then the second time around, he adds another D and A with 1 strum pattern. Then there's one more main part to the song, which is the bridge. He does play that instrumental part like right before the bridge, tacking on that extra D and A7 at the end of that little instrumental. And the bridge is the that sun, 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 here it comes, that part. So need to know a couple more chords for this piece. We're going to do an F major 7, just down, up, down. Not changing this yet, still doing down, up strums. So F major 7 to a C to a G, to a D, to an A7. So for this, we're still doing these down-up strums. The F major 7 gets the down, up, down. Then the C gets the up, down, up. And then on to just the G and the D just gets the strum pattern. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then the A7. Then there's that really pretty part with the flutes and stuff. Da, 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 da. Just play an A7 there. It's like 4 strum patterns or so, I think. Da, 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 da. That part. Then into the verse. Little darling, I feel the ice is slowly melting. He repeats another chorus. The only thing he changes up here is kind of the outro of the song. The song ends with an F major 7, C, G, D. I could play this great Beatles song all day long, one of my all-time favorites, and I love teaching this one in the Relax on Guitar membership as well. So if you'd like to learn another Beatles song, I've got a lesson for Eleanor Rigby, which you might think it's not really a guitar song, but you'd be surprised how good it sounds on the acoustic guitar, so check that out. Vicky and Maggie and I very much appreciate you guys watching us here on YouTube and for your support, so thanks so much for that. Remember, you're never too old to learn.